presentation and get into it.
Oh, great. Just share my screen.
Trouble, Steve.
Yeah, is that working?
Not yet, no. Oh, here it comes.
It's coming through. Before you start, Steph, do you want me to open with a karakia?
Yeah, thank you. It's been...
There you go. See it now.
Oh, that's an old one.
December 24. Good year for land disposal.
Well, while you sort that out, Steph, I'll do the karakia and then.
Thank you.
So, te tera mai runga, te tua mai roro, te tua mai roto, te tua mai waho, kia tau e te muri, tu te muri kira ora, katoa, humie, huie, taikie.
Oh, it's not letting me share my current screen.
See if I can
Hold
do it
on,
as
let me
well.
see. Oh, here it is. That's coming up for me. Is it there for you guys?
Yep.
Awesome.
I can see that.
Cool. So we thought to kick off the meeting tonight, we've got Stephen to give us a bit of an update on the work that he's been doing at the wastewater treatment plant with his pest control and environmental work. Stephen gave a presentation at the open day that I understand was really, really well received. So Stephen, if I hand over to you, if that's all right, I do have some bitten photos included and I got the video working, so you just let me know when you want me to play those for you.
Okay, great. Hey, thanks, Steph. Okay, so I've been a volunteer at the location of the Raglan wastewater treatment plant for like 4 years, mostly at the front planted area, the marshland. So that's where I started learning the hawks that live there regularly and, the wildlife that tends to, the rodents that turn up there and the possums. And then I eventually met the Apex Water team and Darren invited me in to do pest control there while they were constructing the new upgrade. So that's how I got access into the in through the gates to work on this rodent problem. So the original problem was one of the boys had their lunchbox with food in it, left it outside, and then a rat ate a hole right through the lunchbox and ate all his lunch. When he came back in the morning, that was the problem. So then I got invited in to help sort out the ship rat situation. So now, on the other side of the problem, I can say that the ship rat problem is being slaughtered, but I took down 46, and the company called Genus Pest Management, they were doing a poison operation to help take down these rodents, but a lot of those rodents were too big. So we use these cages. So I use these live trap cages, and they went. I had to use different baits to work out what they were really going to go for, and the number one bait was one piece of Cadbury's chocolate and one almond nut. So it was the top bait to get them in the cage. Apex provided 10 of these cages, and they're very safe. That if a 10-year-old kid got his hand in the door, it would do nothing. So they are highly effective and safe for all ages to use. So there are Norway rats living at the front of the premise, but by the planted out area by the road, in between the road and the first pond. So at some stage I will be targeting Norway rats, but the ship rats in that picture there, they are very destructive to wiring looms. And I had a situation at my home where, there was a lot of damage here. So I understood that species quite well, and that's why I put the effort in. So that's under control, and my job is to keep it under control. And it was last week that I did the photo on the left there with the bittern, and that is just inside the gate, just inside the roadside gate in the tall grass. So that was the first sighting last week. I've had 3 sightings since then, and Steph will play the video of Sean. He videoed it. But those 2 photos there were last year. So, every time I go there, there's potential opportunity to understand this bird and photograph it with a really long lens. So I don't want to harass it with my camera, but I do need to understand it and support it the best way I can, because it will probably find a mate and it will find a breeding site there. And I need to do as many, I need to take down as many predator species as possible. There's currently 7 predator species on site that I am dealing with. So they are highly endangered. There's far less than 1,000 in the whole country. And but if I'm doing regular predator control, those bitterns have the best possible chance for successful breeding. What else was I going to say? So I see the predator control situation as I've done a lot, but now I'm just maintaining the state. I'm just maintaining it I'm maintaining as lot. It's not a high level now because I've taken a lot of them down. So, but if I was to walk away, a lot of the predators would come back. So I'm on a low maintenance mode, but I need to work on. I think there's one more stoat on site that I need to get in a hurry. But feral animals can just walk in whenever they want, because there is no predator fence on site. So the land is surrounded by farmlands or the road. Is that video playing? Do you have to push play?
Yep, there you go.
That was Monday this week on Sean's smartphone. Yeah, so that's a pretty, he looks like he's about 18 meters away from it on his smartphone. So he did a good job to do that. That's at 7:30 in the morning. So it's looking for food, and it's very comfortable in the beautiful environment that we have at the Raglan wastewater treatment plant. So it's really exciting to see it choosing this location. At the moment, it's looking, it's assessing, does it have the food source it needs to breed and bring up a young bittern on site, and it's also checking out whether it's safe to do that. So hopefully it chooses the site and has a successful breeding season. I'd love to see that, and obviously that's what I'm working for. And it moves around the site, so there's no way of knowing where it's going to be at on any particular day. It's just pretty much luck if you saw it.
And what other species do you have you been monitoring there, Stephen, aside from the bidden?
Well, I've only seen the kotuku there once, but I'm not there very much. So I'm hoping that the white heron could come back and choose it as a breeding location. That would be fantastic. There's more than 10 duck species there. Me personally, I'm not interested in the ducks. The shoveler duck is my favorite of all the ducks. I haven't sent Steph the photo, but if you look at a shoveler duck, it's like no other duck. It's got a classic big, bulky, squarish bill. So that I'm pleased to see them there. There's black swans, which I just monitor. The numbers of these ducks and swans is controlled by the raptors that live there. So if the duck species got out of control, it would be not a good scenario for the water quality, because if you could imagine 100, 200, 300 ducks swimming around the day pond before it gets released, before it goes for the UV and then released, you would have, it's not good to have duck waste in all those ponds. So the goal is not to have masses of ducks and geese. There's Canada geese, but from what I can see is the numbers are maintained quite low. So you've got, so I'm okay with it. I love birds, but we don't want a massive population of any one particular species because of the mess that they put into the water and the environment. So the way I see it now is it's really spot on. The hawks eat a lot of the pakikos and the ducks, which is what I would call perfectly normal. And this season will be the same. There's going to be lots of food. If I want to try and protect the bittern, I would probably put rabbit and hare carcasses and extra pakiko carcasses probably at the front of the facility to encourage the hawks to eat those carcasses. So that's one safety mechanism that I'm adding into how do I protect this bittern. So because last year the bittern was literally scared off because there was hundreds of fence posts being rammed into the ground by a machine, and it was disturbing. It was highly disturbing to the bittern couple that was setting up to breed. So you can't change that. It had to happen. This season's going to be different because everything is how it's meant to be. The fencing strong and secure. Everything's the new plant is put. The water coming out of there, the discharge is so clean. Peter's keen enough to take one of my surfboards and paddle through the water. This is himself. So at some point, I'll let him do that. The water quality is so good there. I'm really pleased for the community, the discharge, and the bird life. So the water that you're seeing in that picture there is just the natural stream that's running through the whole facility. so that there's nothing to do with discharge in the stream that runs through the facility. So is there any questions you want to ask me about the predator control work, or I will get involved in the discharge at Wainui Reserve. There will be, hopefully there's going to be a predator-free fence around the discharge with all the new planted native growth that's already started. And so I'm excited that there's the potential for a predator-free environment on Wainui Reserve. I would support that initiative myself, and I'm willing to work there. So the budget for that is the next challenge. So I would be keen to see that happen. Obviously, the community need to help that happen as well. So is there any questions about the wildlife you want to ask me about?
It's not a question as such, Steve. It's just thank you. I was really impressed when we were at the site last week, and you were talking so passionately about the bird life and the restoration. And it's neat to see that the bittern is back, and that you're progressing, the protection of the territory and encouraging that. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Cool. Thank you so much, Stephen. It's real interesting.
Yeah. That's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Just Stephen, thanks for your work. I just want to let you know that there are about 4 or 5 kōtuku that were seen up around Greenslade.
Yes.
So I thought you'd be interested in that.
I'll thank you. 4 or 5. That's a really good number. That sounds like a breeding situation there.
Mm-hmm. So I got that on Wednesday from people who've taken photographs. I didn't know what your email was to actually send them to you. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, my email is surfsafe@windowslive.com. That's what it is for now. So what happens with this bittern? A single bittern turns up, and then it starts calling for its mate, and then the mate turns up, and then they start the breeding courtship. So I don't know. I assume the male turns up first and then does the booming, and then the female hears it and comes. So that's the process for bittern reproduction. So and I'd be excited to go and find the kōtuku.
The other thing is, Steve and I went over to have a look at the wetland because we did a lot of planting, and I actually think that it does need a bit more of the bigger trees. So how will your birds, I don't think it's going to affect them, but I wouldn't mind spending a few hours there with a group and just doing a little bit of weeding around the kōwhais and they're struggling, and also just planting some bigger trees there to attract more birds, like maybe a couple of pūreres, which feed a lot of birds, different ones that will attract more, provide more food, really.
Yeah, food and shelter. Yeah. So yeah, I'd be keen to see that. I'm probably probably talking to Peter. Peter would probably be the man about that.
It's primarily at the front, Stephen, that Angeline's talking about.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't disturb the bittern. And I think you said the actual mating season finishes February, March. So I'm not sure if you're planning to do this planting season, Angeline, or the next planting season.
Well, I was thinking now, actually, because now's the planting season, eh?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So, and if that's on the roadside area, I think that's a fair way from its. So probably it's just a case of working with Stephen. We wouldn't want to disturb it. It's critically endangered. So I don't know. Yeah, it's the case of meeting up and checking it's not around.
Yep.
Yeah, so it does hang around the front, the wetland and it does hang around there a lot. I've seen it there last week and this week.
So we'll probably hold off then until we get some idea where it settles down.
Yep.
Yeah. If you have to wait till next season, that would be.
Yeah. So so be it. Yeah.
Yeah, so be it. So I'm just trying to reduce interruptions, but because it was so interrupted last year, I'm trying to provide a filter for it to have the best chance possible. Yeah. So, but the planting is essential for the bird life to move ahead. So what you're saying is bang on, but timing is absolutely critical at the moment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
I think we're ready for your lead now, Steph.
Sorry, I was just on mute. So the plant opening was a key highlight that happened in the last month.
Do you mind sharing you're currently sharing the video there, Steph? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. On my screen, it's the PowerPoint. Hold on.
Yeah, we've heard that excuse before. It's fine on my screen.
Is that going up for you guys now?
Coming up now, yeah.
Spot on.
Great. Okay, cool.
Wow. So Steph missed out because she was on holiday. And having a great holiday, so don't feel too bad for her. So we obviously had the site blessing. So thank you very much, Angeline. Do appreciate the lead there. And we took people through the new plant. The new plant's up and running. It's currently just going through a little bit of fine tuning. There's two things that a plant has challenges with. One is high load, and then there's the one that sort of nobody cares about. It's actually one of the harder ones to design for, is the low load. So currently in winter at the moment, we're in low load. And we're just doing some aeration tuning. Once we're comfortable that's in place, we will start the performance testing to make sure that everything hits its specification point. And then there's a training period for our operators, and it then is handed over. So over the next 2 months, we'll be doing performance testing, training, getting ready for the handover to operations. So there will be quite a diminished site activity, Stephen, on site. You'll see it get quieter and quieter. And then once it's handed to operations, it'll get quite, very quiet. Cool. So that's, and the first compliant point is we've had our first sample come back as part of the sample that goes off to the regional council. And Ed, you will have seen that the first point is currently within the compliance limits. We, and once we resolve the final winter mode, we over next week we're expecting to do performance testing, and it'll stay compliant thereafter. So that particular photo just shows the new tarmac in. You've got a building off to the left. You've got the screening area in the middle that takes out the grit and any plastic material that comes through. You've then got the MABRs in the front, which is sort of a row of cassettes. They do a fair bit of nitrogen and COD removal. So the removal of biological matter. Then the internal tank is to reactivate the plugs, and it does some more removal of organics. And then towards the end, it's called a post-anoxic zone, which does sort of final polishing, removal of the final nitrogen. levels, and then the last tank is where the membrane filters are, and that's where the clean permeate comes out. The solids on a routine are currently ejected to the ponds, and they build up in the ponds. About 60% of it sort of composts down, then the remainder is desludged on a routine and taken off site. I don't know if there's any other photos, Steph, but it was a very successful opening. I certainly enjoyed having a deadline because things can drag on. So it was quite motivating for the team to have a ribbon cutting day. You can see there Stephen's the star of the show there, showing people his bidden photo and various raptor birds talking about the ecology. The bottom photo, you can see there's a little spiral vortex next to the chap wearing the yellow jacket. And that's the permeate coming out of the plant. Yeah, so there you go.
Do have to say congratulations too for the appearance of the plant. I think we did a great job at Tikawhata in terms of bringing a ponds-based system up into a modern day plant, and the step up from there to here, from a showcase perspective, Raglan really sets the scene as far as what a wastewater treatment plant and its surrounds should look like. So I do think, Peter, congratulations to you and to the team and to Apex in terms of
Apex did very well. Yeah. So it is. You're right. I mean, this is the new standard. That's what it set the new benchmark. And as always, there's a few improvements, but they are getting less with time. In my professional view now, the liquid stream treatment system is a solved problem. And it's going to go sort of through refinements now for the next few decades. It won't really change much from what we see here. This is the new platform. So yeah, thanks, Keith.
Yeah, it was impressive to see that how good a quality the treatment is for such a small plant in comparison to the old site too. Yeah, you're getting much more performance out of a much smaller footprint. So it's quite amazing, really.
So Angeline, we're going to go through seeing as we pick up our performance. We're going to do a 6 megalitre a day test, which is our peak flow, and then we'll track how we manage storms. So ideally, we manage all storm flow. That's our goal, to send full permeate storm flow to the new regenerated area in the park, and that's really kind of what this new, if you like, the innovation has been driving as much as we can get in terms of value and performance, so that we can then offer basically a full treatment system. Previously, MBRs were only partial flow. The intent here is to be a full flow MBR. So, I'm expecting you'll be proud of the plant and hopefully very proud of the regenerated area in Waianae Park. Tours, Stephen? You're gonna be setting up a tour guide company soon. Yeah.
On Waianae Reserve.
Yeah, pick people up in town, take them on a tour, give them a lunch, show them some birds. Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to do surfing lessons on the beach, so it's a bit easier in my older age to do bird tours.
Bird
Yeah, I'll drive the bus where. Yeah.
Just on that note about the tour, it was really great to be on site because it was such a transformation, because we went up there earlier on in the piece when construction was really just starting. So to go from seeing pictures and hearing kōrero and attending these to that plant, after also seeing Mere Mere and Te Kauwhata, and then coming here, that was, I actually couldn't quite believe it, because it was, I hadn't anticipated, not that I didn't think that we could achieve that, but it was way more than what I thought it would be. And I was even brave enough to put my hand into the permeate, and and I still have my hand, and I haven't grown a second head. So of course I wouldn't have licked my hand or anything afterwards. I went in, but I was really impressed by that. So well done to the team, and looking forward to when we can move the discharge. Obviously, Angeline's probably of the same mind, as soon as we can, from the Moana up to Wainui Reserve, because that will be the momentous occasion, actually. And Peter, you mentioned about the the sludge in the ponds. Will there ever be a future where we would process that on site rather than carting it off?
It's relatively easy one. We have prepared a solid strategy to run through with council. We're just really looking to get the last 2 treatment plant upgrades committed. That's kind of been our focus on Huntly and Ngaruawahia.
Yeah, Kapai.
And then now how the right solution for our region is that you would treat it continuously. So you kind of, it would be another building, and in the building the solids would be turned into like a topsoil material. And when you collect it when it's fresh, which is you're basically collecting the bugs, you're growing your kombucha, you're taking off a little bit of the SCOBY and creating a topsoil type material, which it has enough catalytic value that you can take it through a process called biochar and turn it into coal, which is quite good for soil remediation. This regeneration area that we're talking about, it's the sort of thing that you can place over the soil and help through soil regeneration. It provides a place for the plants to grow their roots and get moisture, and it holds nutrients. It's a very good soil stabilization material. So that to answer your question succinctly, you would basically what they call dewater on site to create a topsoil material, take it to a central facility, and that wouldn't be Raglan, because we have other sites that are slightly larger, and it would be turned into a sort of a coal type material, granular coal material, and then it would be distributed to a regeneration area.
So, Councillor Thompson, one thing I would suggest is that when the water services strategy for EOI is going through the panel, is that the solid strategy is looked at as part of that water services strategy, and just make sure it's included in it.
Yep.
So Peter, a question. How difficult would it be to pipe some of that treated effluent to places like the Raglan Golf Course or other places for reuse rather than wasting water from the reservoir, which is beautiful drinking water, but it's actually being used for irrigation? How difficult would that be?
I'll answer it in a very engineering and practical way, Angeline. You're building a city, and it's called Raglan. The amount of money that you have to build it, you build a treatment plant, and then you build a network, probably about only 10% of the money, and probably less, is in the treatment plant. Most of it's in reticulation. So a lot of the schemes that talk about dual reticulation, so people flush their toilets with reclaimed water, recycled water, they are very expensive to install. If you install them on a greenfield site, you can get some savings through multi-lay. If you go to retrofit them, they're astronomically expensive. In this case, the golf course is not too far away, and that is really the distance. Distance makes it more viable. Our experience in doing soakage tests at the golf course is we found it went into overland flow very quickly. And it wasn't really getting absorbed. And one of the main issues is, while Councillor Lisa Thompson is, she's a bold person like me, no particular some people just through the placebo effect will get sick. So you can have someone out on the golf course and they're told where the water comes from and they will just feel ill. So you've got an acceptance issue. It's going to cost you money to get there, and it's not going to soak in that well because we did do soakage tests.
Okay.
But don't lose the vision, Angeline. The actual vision to take it to the park and build a regeneration area puts Raglan in a leading position. And I think being a place that puts nature first, encourages regeneration, and then returns the new water back to the environment, you've made such a massive step relative to everybody else. You are in a leading position, and it's quite well aligned. The reuse model is done a fair bit in Australia, but the regeneration model is not very well. It hasn't been done very well, and I think we are intending to do something pretty neat here, and it'll be, you'll be world famous in a bit of the world. Right, Ed's polite.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
Yeah, just I was thinking, would it be possible to maybe have like a tap at the front end of the plant somewhere? Maybe down where that defunct septage area is, where people could come in with just a trailer or a tank alone, just take some away as and when they wanted to themselves. So it wouldn't be any sort of major capital outlay for the council, but it would offer up the chance of people who wanted to come and get some, especially during the summer when things are really hot and dry. Market gardeners, parks, things like that. Just come in with a tanker, turn the tap on, fill your tank, and off you go.
I think there'll be plenty of opportunity on the pipeline that when it leaves the plant, going up to the reserve, you could have a tapping point off it. We did do a lot of that in Auckland when we had a drought in Auckland and there was a need to really conserve water. We took a lot of treated water to people like who are jetting units and industrial suppliers that come in and they use water as part of their very agricultural process. So yeah, there are options, and you're right, Ed, if we can make it easy for them to connect and take, that would help.
Yeah, I mean, just similar sort of system to how the water tankers come in for potable water. Just sort of there's a tap somewhere, and then just come in and take it out, and off they go, and make some good use of it that way, maybe. So it's a cheaper option.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, so the reticulation network makes it expensive.
So one more question. Oh, sorry, you go, Steve.
It's just if the fire service needed trucks and trucks of water, would that be ideal?
Yes, but then they've got an obligation when they reconnect to the potable network to rechlorinate their truck. So they would only do it as a last resort.
Okay.
Yeah. My question is, when will we, because it's so great actually going on site to visit, and I know that there's a staff day planned, because it would be great for all of our staff to go through and have a look, well, those who are interested. But will we have more opportunities for smaller community groups to come up on site and have a look? And obviously, possibly, Stephen, for you to be there. But are we able to do that? And if we can, how do we go about doing that?
The answer is yes. That's it with my team. It's in our vision. We have not yet, and I guess from a timing perspective, we just want to make sure everything is complete. There is, of course, a number of health and safety issues that we need to worry about in terms of how we put it together. But it's not the first time that we've put a community event together. And Tika Whata is a good example of where we have done it in the past. So we generally try and aim for small groups with allocated time to turn up and take them through. But we'll be working on that. As you know, some of my team has been seconded to EOI, so we are short on resource. So when I bring that resource back in, that'll be part of their job to make that happen.
Great, thank you.
Cool. Any other questions for Peter on the plant? So one of the last reports that we had to complete was our water quality and public health effects assessment. So I wanted to share the key findings and summary of that report with you tonight. So breaking it down into the different types of water that we have within the scheme. So firstly, the surface water in the gully, key aspects being the high quality now of discharge and also the nutrient uptake provided by the restoration planting. Overall predicted effect from the discharge on surface water in the gully was found to be negligible. Similar with the groundwater in the gully, because our discharge has compliance with the Class A standards. So that's what we talked about in the last meeting. We're using the Australian guidelines because they're world leading and we don't have our own at the moment. And the discharge is Class A, meaning that it can be used for contact recreation without any further treatment. We also know that from our work with the gully soils, it has limited infiltration of groundwater. And again, we've got that additional treatment provided by our wetland restoration. So overall, the effect of the discharge on the groundwater quality was found to be negligible. And these also included the potential of the new water reaching any of the coastal environment as well. So when we talk about the surface and the groundwater, that includes down the gully and into the coastal environment. We also did have to look at what would happen for the contingency discharge to the harbour outfall. So the contingency will be largely our high quality new water. Our absolute worst case contingency scenario is pond and UV, so our previous treatment system. And also just to be clear that this is while we're working through the transition period of establishing the gully outfall and testing how that operates, is when we will have these contingency discharges still to the harbour. So the baseline assessment, so our baseline has been the pond system with the UV that found the effects on water quality in the harbour to be negligible. And we also, if it's contingency now, we've got a significant reduction in the volume of the discharge. Well, there's also some enhanced dilution by optimising how that discharge works. And the baseline assessment also found any of our emerging organic contaminants to be lower than standard for any risk to aquatic organisms. And then lastly, we had public health effects assessment. So overall, if we do find that we have some overland flow heading onto the beach at the bottom of the gully, there's found to be negligible risk to public health. And again, that's because we're able to meet the Class A standards because of the high quality of the treatment. So the report I'll be able to share with you all soon and put onto the project website. So all of the other technical reports today are loaded on there. It is quite a technical report, but the executive summary and the key findings you can go in and pull out quite easily. But overall, really positive that everything has come out as either, negligible and safe in terms of public health. So is there any questions or clarifications on that report? Cool.
I guess the Australian guidelines, Class A guidelines, are not tikanga guidelines for Māori, so it doesn't reach that for us. So,
yeah, no, that's correct.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, going into the marine environment.
Yeah.
So apart from that, it's good to see that it's negligible. It's great.
Yeah, and of course we'll have the CVA to include in our list of reports alongside that. So we're looking at holding another community drop-in session on Wednesday, the 3rd of September at the library. At the moment, we're thinking kind of that 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. time. So we'll be keen to get your help as well to spread the word on that. So we'll look at doing our usual comms through the Facebook page, Chronicle Radio, and the project website. So we'll do up a bit more of an information pack and make sure that's sent out to you guys as well. And we'll work with the Waikato District Council comms team to help us with that.
If we considered the time frame being 2 to 5, I'm just conscious of those who are employed who might be working up into 5 p.m.
Yeah, it's because the library shuts at 5, but I did wonder if there was a way we could ask to stay for an extra hour to catch those people.
I'm sure we'll be able to. We've done events at the library after hours before. We've had like book launch and things like that. And so if you speak to Amy, the library manager, I'm sure she'll be more than happy to accommodate an extra hour.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Did you want me to ask her, or will you be okay to do that?
We should be okay to do that. I know Waikato District have a relationship with Amy, but I will let you know if we have anything else. Thank you. Cool. That was all in terms of an update that I had for you guys. Was there any other questions?
Nothing from here. Good update. Thank you, Steve.
Cool.
Oh, just a simple question, Steph. Like when the discharge pipe is discharging at the Waitanui Reserve, would there be signage at the beach to say that this is happening, or not?
So I think, Stephen, the difference is that you were used to a discharge at the estuary that is on a time base. It's on the outgoing tide, whereas this discharge will almost be constant. So rather than a time base, it will always be present. So we'll have signage saying that this is an area for discharge, but it's not going to be one that we have to worry about incoming tide or outgoing tide.
Yep.
We don't think, for the most part, Stephen, you'll see it.
Yeah.
It'll come out in a bell mouth type fountain and disappear. By the time you get to the bottom of the gully on a normal day, you wouldn't expect to see it. And when I say a non-normal day, is really heavy rain and stuff. So there'll be a sign, but there won't be much to see.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that might bring us to the natural conclusion for this evening. So, firstly, thank you for all attending, and perhaps if there's no more questions, I'll close with a karakia. Any here, ki tu uru tapua tānei, ki wātea ki mamatia nākau, ti wairua, ti tinana, ti hingariro, ai ti aratakatū, ki oira I rongo, whakaira ki runga, ki wātea, heira kua wātea, humie, huie, taikie.
Yeah.
Kia ora. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, everyone. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Really-
much.
Thank you.
Have
See
a
ya.
good evening, everyone.
See you later.
You too. Bye.
Right.
Good night. How do I get out of this? Okay.